have gone, his spirit is still very much with us, and we need only look around us to see the beautiful fruits his life sacrifice has given us. Within the ANC, a small group of young Africans banded together, calling themselves the African National Congress Youth League. Their goal was to transform the ANC into a mass grassroots movement, deriving strength from millions of people who had no voice under the current regime.
The group believed that the ANC's old tactics of polite petitioning were ineffective and in 1949 adopted the method of boycott, strike, civil disobedience and non-cooperation. This was a bold and heroic move by Nelson Mandela, challenging the state head and leaders, because the government at the time was very powerful. So why was young Madiba not intimidated by them? Heroes are often described as people who are not afraid of what they are. So over to Mr. Sparks. Challenging some of his comrades at the time is a huge step to take. Obviously, not everybody was against what he was going for, and so there were a couple of people following. What does that say about the character of the heroic Nelson, that he was able to stand up against the established leadership of the ANC at that particular time?
Well, he obviously was a person of very strong and determined character. I mean, we know that from his more recent activities. But I would like to add, too, that he wasn't the only one there. And a forgotten figure who should be remembered now, the leader of the Youth League, a very dynamic young person called Anton Lembede, who sadly died young. And who knows what he might have become, because that whole Youth League was an extraordinary body of capable activists and determined young men who designed the program for the defiance, the decade of defiance through the 50s. And Anton Lembede was the leader of the Youth League. But as I say, sadly, he died in his early 30s. And I do think on a day like this, we ought to remember him because he was one of the founding fathers of a movement that Nelson Mandela himself came to lead, and then to lead the country to its independence, its freedom that we enjoy today.
And that's one of the things that Mandela always said, that I did not achieve any of this on my own. There were many others with me that achieved this. At the time, in terms of the formation of the Youth League, what other young people were coming together to say, yes, we support going against the old guard within the ANC?
Well, Oliver Tambo was obviously an important one. Walter Sisulu then went on to become Secretary General of the ANC itself, while that was a Youth League appointment. So the Youth League then, as a body, was tremendously important. But the key figure that I'm just reminding everyone of is that it was led by Anton Lembede. And I not terribly long ago, met one of his grandsons, who is now, I think, in the South African Diplomatic Corps. But it's important for young people actually to know the history, and not only the history of the ANC. I mean, there were other important players too. Many of them, Lembede, it was often said, was an Africanist who might have gone along with the PAC. The PAC played its role. It was the first to speak about the pass law defiance activities which led to Sharpeville. So there were other organizations too in the Western Cape and elsewhere. There were white organizations that joined in this, who became members of the Congress of Democrats and the Liberal Party. It was the ANC was the sharp end of it, the sharp end of the spear, absolutely, one might say, of the nation.
And it goes to talk about the man that, again, we are afforded an opportunity at this particular point in time to remember the soldiers that stood with him, to remember the leaders that led him. Nelson stood and fought for the truth from a young age. This is a principle he stood his whole life, and that in itself should be celebrated. Thank you so much, Alistair Sparks. We will be talking to you again a little bit later on, and as we continue in the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And standing by is Napo Mashiane. Napo Mashiane is a poet, she is a writer, and she will be paying her tribute to Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela.
When the tree that stands tall in the center of our village takes its final bow, who are we to ask under whose shade are we going to eat? For God crafted the lines of the universe, making the sun to shine at the birth of every being, the fire that lies through which new rays of life breaks. A moment in time when our new voices collectively must heal the deceased land souls together, linking the aged and the unborn, turning our childless graveyards into laughing homes. The chains of our past should not bundle us forever, but seal the lips of slavery caves. Our people should stop to live under the tyranny of silence and turn deserted lands into farm fields. We must sow the seeds of Ubuntu, building and shaping our future on firm grounds so that our royal languages can echo proverbs at a place where ancestors walked. Let us help the poor and the lame to open closed doors so that they can dress our hearts differently. Let us move earth, ensemble our villages so that our tears can become raindrops for the sea of education, for the rivers of prosperity, for the lakes of democracy. Our voices should write new poetic Bibles and proses of golden beauty, casting away HIV and AIDS, unemployment and felony. Let us use our voices to fashion old, building strong bridges of awareness, bridges that will take us far beyond the skyline of time, bridges that will transform our core from the dense floors of misconception so that we can recreate who we really are. Let us dress our behaviors like monks. Allow our offsprings to pick fruits from the highest trees of spirituality so that they can destroy the walls of orphan villages and give each home a name. We are pillars of a proud vote, bound by a period in which every being must speak color sounds of togetherness. Let our words find ways in which the webs of life are woven, a place where mothers cannot escape the messages of their own bodies. Let's allow our father spirits to stretch and match science, history, and politics. Let Madiba spirit teach us how to dig and plant and water our seeds so that we can buy our children smiles. So let us walk with the beauty of Madiba's legacy before us. Let us walk with the beauty of Madiba's legacy behind us. Let us walk with the beauty of Madiba's legacy below us. Let us walk with the beauty of Madiba's legacy above us. South Africans, let us walk with the beauty of Madiba all around us as we walk the African way.